How's it going, everybody? It's Pride here, and welcome back to another Q&A video. It's been a little while since I've done one, probably a few months. I was pretty much doing them every month, and I would like to go back to that. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask me, feel free to leave that in the comment section down below for next time. So I got a variety of questions that you guys asked me on Twitter and on YouTube. So let's start off with a simple one. Do you think Sekiro deserved Game of the Year? So Sekiro did win Game of the Year for the Game Awards, like, what was it, earlier this month in December? Actually, I don't know when I'm uploading this. It might be 2020 already. Welcome to a new decade if it is. It might not be though. I don't know. Even though I didn't really play too many games this year, I do think that Sekiro deserved to win Game of the Year, especially against, some of the other games that were nominated for Game of the Year. Not to say that they're bad or anything, all of them pretty goddamn awesome in their own way. But Sekiro was freaking unique, man. First of all, when it comes to its combat, I would probably say that it is the best of any of the From Software games that, we know and love, with Demon Souls and Dark Souls and Bloodborne. I've never had such a rewarding experience playing a video game as I did when I played Sekiro, overcoming bosses, fighting specific enemies. I've never really played a video game like it. And with Dark Souls, you kind of had that same feeling, and then people ended up going on and it became its own, Souls-like genre. Hell, you're already seeing some of the inspiration that Sekiro has offered already. Even when it comes to AAA games, look at Jedi Fallen Order. It's only been, what, a year since Sekiro came out, and they've already put such a great game out. In my opinion, Fallen Order is a pretty damn good game. Having a similar type of combat style to that game, not exactly to that extent that we saw in Sekiro, because in Sekiro, it's all about the combat. And of course, in Star Wars, The Fallen Order, you have all your Jedi abilities that really play a big part in it. It wasn't going to be all focused on the lightsaber, but they did a great job with that. And that's only within the first year of Sekiro. I truly do think that the combat in Sekiro is, maybe in the future, mixed with Dark Souls, is going to be as revolutionary as what they did with the Arkham games. After those games came out, everybody was making, fighting games in that style. And even to this day, with games like Spider-Man. And I think we're going to end up seeing more of that in the future with Sekiro, and that's just the gameplay. You also have interesting characters, a very, very interesting and cool looking world. To make a long answer much shorter, yeah, I do think it deserved it. I did also get asked another question: what non-Souls-like game would I pick as my favorite of the year? And I would probably say it's Resident Evil 2. Very enjoyable. I never played Resident Evil 2 back when it came out, the original of course, but I think this is the best way to play it, for sure. What is something from the previous Dark Souls games that you don't want to see in Elden Ring? Obviously PvP, I don't want to see that in the game. And feat. Those are the big two, and some other smaller ones on the side. I probably wouldn't want, if this game has PvP, okay? If it did have PvP, I hope that they do something about the connection. The connection in the Dark Souls games, man, are so bad. They're so damn bad. I don't really know the logistics and the things that go into having, this character invade other people's worlds, but I feel like it can be better. Maybe, hopefully they do something with that. If this game has some type of invasions, hopefully not have it be so skewed in favor of the hosts. That would be great. And honestly, I wouldn't mind the Bloodborne approach for this game. Having not so many weapons, but maybe have the weapons that they do have. They have like 25 weapons that are all very, very unique to each other, and can transform and have different abilities and different ways to use them, rather than having 150 weapons. Honestly, I think that would be pretty cool. Would you be willing to do collaborations outside of the Souls series? Do people do collabs anymore? I don't know if people do collabs anymore. Obviously, like, friends will play, but I don't know anybody that doesn't play Dark Souls. I don't talk to anybody really that plays other games and does like playthroughs and stuff like that. I don't know anybody, so probably not. Just for the sole fact that if I had a friend that was out there that I meet and I thought was cool, then yeah, maybe. But apart from people in the Souls community, I don't really know many people, except for that one half weasel half boy that I met. He's pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a video with him. Any chance you'll do a Cyberpunk playthrough? I don't know about a playthrough, because those goddamn CD Projekt Red games, man, they're amazing, but they're so damn long. I don't think I'll be doing a full playthrough of that game, but 2 videos, 3 videos, 4 videos? Yeah, I'll definitely be uploading some when that game comes out next year. Will you ever go back to first-person shooter games? So yeah, obviously, in case you guys didn't know, before I did Dark Souls, I played Call of Duty. I uploaded Call of Duty montages and videos and stuff like that. Now, I don't think I would ever go back to that exclusively. Like, I don't think there's really anything at the moment that I can think of that I would move on to exclusively. I am at a point, though, where I pretty much feel like if I want to play a game and a first-person shooter comes out that I want to play and I'll upload a video to the channel. Maybe people like those videos and I enjoy playing the game myself. There could be a continuing series in the future, but I don't think I would ever, go back to just playing Call of Duty. I stopped playing it for a reason, and that is pretty much because it wasn't fun anymore. I had reached my fun limit with that game, and that should say something considering you'd think I would have reached that limit with Dark Souls 3, but not really. That should just go to show how bored I was of Call of Duty. I saw nothing in the game that was fun anymore, and it really hasn't changed much at all. The new Modern Warfare game, I'd probably say is one of the better ones that has come out recently, but in general, they've all been kind of garbage past like Black Ops 2. But that's just my opinion as a person who's played, the series since Call of Duty 4. Why don't you do face cam for Dark Souls? I do get asked this question a lot. Why do people want to see so much face cam for Dark Souls? But the real answer is because I am lazy. It's like a mixture of that, and I feel like it doesn't really work a lot of the times with the style of editing that I do. I feel like a face cam would just get in the way. That was a thing that I was doing with the Blair Witch playthrough. And those videos took forever to edit because for some reason, whenever I recorded the face cam separately and the gameplay separately so I could kind of move around the camera wherever I wanted to, editing in Adobe Premiere made it so slow. Like I could literally press play and it would play like 3 seconds without stuttering, and then it would start stuttering like crazy. So it pretty much slowed down my editing a ton. And then if I was to have the face cam together with the gameplay, there might be something that the face cam gets in the way of. I feel like for the most part, especially for Dark Souls, it doesn't really need it. I won't really bother to do it with Dark Souls, probably ever. But I will do, the occasional face cam for other games. Horror games especially. People have asked me, am I still going to continue like Alien Isolation or even Blair Witch? Probably not Blair Witch. What do you think the chance is that Elden Ring will have co-op and PvP at this point, considering they haven't mentioned it in the slightest yet? About the same amount of chance that, Elden Ring is a video game, considering they haven't showed anything literally at all for Elden Ring. They've showed this is what it's called, and then a guy like kneeling on the ground and screaming up at the sky while it's red. That tells me about, like, it might as well be Slashy Souls 2, I don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about it, so I'd say it's at 100% right now that it's gonna have PvP and co-op. I have insider trading. Will you ever do more videos with your brother? In case you guys don't know, I have done a few. Haven't done them in a while, to be honest. We used to do, Call of Duty videos together. He plays fighting games. Maybe if you enjoy fighting games, you're subscribed to him. But I do want to do something with Dark Souls on my channel. Maybe have him play the first boss, see if he could beat the first boss in like Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. I will most likely do that one day. What got you into the Souls series? When I got asked this question, I didn't really know, to be honest, man. It just kind of happened. So when I first got Dark Souls, and I've told this story like once or twice before. The first time I ever got Dark Souls, it was free for the Xbox 360. They gave it away for free. I knew sort of about Dark Souls. Not really. All I really knew that I had a reputation of being very difficult. I think I had even seen some gameplay from DSP. Yeah, DSP. This was back when everybody liked DSP, okay? And yes, there was a time. So then I tried the game, hated it, couldn't get past the first boss, deleted it, but then there was something about the game. There really is, a little nagging in the back of my brain that wasn't the tumor that was next to it. I decided to look up some videos. I try to, find a strategy on how to have pretty much a stronger build, a stronger weapon, found a Drake sword, found the pyromancy glove. got through the first boss, and somehow I just pretty much played it at the same time as one of my friends. We were pretty much in party chat playing separate playthroughs while talking to each other, and I just fell in love with the damn game, man. There was something so satisfying about fighting a boss for, you know, an hour and then finally getting it. It's really something that I had never felt when playing a video game before. So then I played Dark Souls 2, and then this was before Dark Souls 3 came out. This was before the first DLC of Bloodborne. My brother ended up getting a PS4 basically for both of us. You know, it was my birthday, so he got it kind of like because he knew I wanted to play Bloodborne. Like, I was just so desperate to play Bloodborne. I wanted a PS4 so badly, but I'm poor, so I couldn't buy one, you know? Then he got one for both of us because he wanted to play Street Fighter, and obviously that was only on PlayStation. Got into Bloodborne, played Bloodborne, loved it, and then Dark Souls 3 was just kind of around the corner, you know? So I ended up obviously taking some interest because it was the new Dark Souls game. It was right around the time where I was pretty much at the end, you know, right at the end of I didn't want to play Call of Duty anymore. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my channel. So then what I did was pretty much uploaded news videos for Dark Souls 3. That's kind of how I got my foot in the door, being somebody who didn't really know too much about Dark Souls. I mainly played it, never really, you know, did a deep dive into the deep end and learned stuff like PvP, tactics, you know, best builds, best weapons. It's just kind of, I played the game, was very much looking forward to this game. And that's really how I learned mainly about, you know, stuff like PvP and different weapons and shit. Looking it up, trying to sound like not such an idiot when I did these news videos when they were doing like weekly live streams before Dark Souls came out and they were showing all these new weapons. Like if you go back to some of my earlier videos, back before Dark Souls 3 came out, it was a lot of that. Like, hey, look at this, what they showed the scimitar or whatever. Being able to clickbait those. And that's pretty much how I started uploading Dark Souls 3. And then, you know, here we are. I'm talking about long weasels that stretch out around the earth. 3 years is a long time. Coming on 4 years. Somebody asked, will you ever grow a beard? I can't, all right? I can't grow a damn beard. The facial hair that I have and have had in pretty much all my face cam videos, you know how long it took me to grow that? I've been growing that since I was a baby. I started growing that when I was out of the womb. I've been growing it since day one, and this is how far it's gotten. I can't grow anymore. I don't know why. I just don't have the features for it or whatever. You know how many baths I've taken in beard oil? It doesn't work. I can't grow a beard. So therefore, I will never grow a beard. Will you ever get any new merch in your store? I've honestly thought about this a lot, man. I don't know what to do when it comes to merch. I don't know what I want on a shirt. I don't know what people want to see on shirts and stuff like that. I have Cookie the dog, which was, you know, I got very lucky as somebody sent me that fan art, and then I asked them if I could use it. You know, I paid them for it. And then you had the art of the Kid Snatcher, which was made by the people who work at Teespring. They made that for me. And I would love to add some more things. But I guess that's really, you know, where you guys help me out. I don't know what you guys want to see. If you have any ideas, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll definitely take those into consideration. Do you plan on playing any of the older Doom games before Eternal comes out? Probably not. I just don't think I would be too into them, you know? I feel like if your first Doom game is Doom 2016, there's just no way that you can go back to any of the older Doom games. There's just no way. When you rip off a demon's arm and beat him to death with it, I don't think I can go back to having 2 pixel sprites slowly floating to me. I'm sure they were great for their time, but it's just, I probably wouldn't be into it. I would be pretty bored of it. Why don't you play more horror games? They get decent views and a majority likes. Are you a wuss? Yeah, I am actually. What's it to you? I'm afraid of those games. Maybe that's why people want to see it so bad, because I'm such a goddamn chicken when it comes to playing scary games. I don't really like them too much. You know, I feel like I like the environment. I like the idea of them, but then when you're in it, I am definitely a giant wuss when it comes to the horror games, just knowing that eventually there's going to be a pop-up scare that's going to annoy me. I do love being in the environments, though. Scary games offer some of the coolest environments where you're just walking around. Pretty much lets the world tell the story, and then shit happens that is scary along the way. And they're like pop-up scares. Maybe I just don't like pop-up scares. But maybe I'll do more horror games with face cam. We'll see. Or even without face cam. But I also don't feel that it would be entertaining without face cam. That's mainly why I haven't continued games like Alien. Again, it's a mixture of me being lazy. and having to do everything that I need to do to have a face cam, and then not knowing if it's going to be entertaining if I don't use a face cam for those style of games. What's your favorite musician, favorite film, favorite game? I don't know if I have one favorite musician. I like bands. So I guess what a statement, by the way. I like bands. Do you guys know that bands are a thing? I think I might be the first person to ever discover what a band is. And my favorite band, they're a little underrated group. I don't think many people have heard of them, but the Beatles. They're this like indie group from like back in the 60s or whatever. You guys probably haven't heard of them because they're so, you know, underground. But yeah, they are my favorite band. They make my favorite music. Favorite film? I like The Matrix. It's my favorite film. I love kung fu movies, and that one has a perfect blend of having a great story with freaking amazing choreography for fights, and it's just endlessly enjoyable, in my opinion. And favorite game, man, I think it might be a mixture, a tie between Dark Souls and Bloodborne. It's one of those two. I can never decide. One day I'm a Dark Souls man, the other day I'm a Bloodborne man. But I think it might be between those two. You could even throw BioShock in there as a mix one day. Just depends how I wake up and what side I sleep on, you know, the day before. When do you think you are going to quit YouTube? Not even do you think you're ever going to quit YouTube. When do you think you're going to quit? I'm interested in the channel. Hit me up. I added the last part, but to be honest, whenever I get bored, that's reality, you guys. If I ever happen to get so bored that I feel like I'm making content that I'm just not enjoying, and I feel like I'm just doing it because, hey, this is my job and I make money off of this, then that's probably when I'll quit. You know, I can admit that sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes with, you know, some Dark Souls PvP stuff. At least I used to, you know, we'll say like a year ago, when I was still kind of uploading like daily Dark Souls PvP videos, daily Adventures of the Worst Invader. Eventually you just get bored of it. That's why I kind of slowed those down a lot. I still like doing them, and honestly taking a break and not playing so much Dark Souls has helped me enjoy the game more. And still enjoy it, almost 4 years out. I'm probably never going to quit YouTube. I enjoy it. I like playing video games. I'd play video games if I didn't do YouTube, so why not upload those videos? If people like hearing me ramble, then, you know, I'll keep doing it. I guess this question is also kind of similar. Make a comparison on how you felt about YouTube 5 years ago versus now. What the hell was I uploading 5 years ago? Probably still Call of Duty. That was probably right around the time when it was still, I was starting to get very bored of it. Hell, probably even a time where I got pretty close to just stopping doing YouTube. I didn't enjoy making the videos. I didn't really, well, I enjoyed making some videos. I like making montages, you know. I liked working to get a bunch of clips and then having an editor put music there and then having it look cool. I enjoyed doing that, but then everything that went in the middle, I felt like I was making videos just to kind of make them, you know, 5 years ago. Just like here's a commentary talking about some bullshit over some gameplay that is pretty decent. I gotta admit, I had some pretty goddamn good gameplays back in the day. But that's probably where I was at around that time for, you know, 5 years ago. Compared to now, especially this month, like December and like going into 2020 has been some of the most fun I've ever had on YouTube. Doing the mods and playing mods on Dark Souls and uploading those videos and editing those videos have been really goddamn fun, man. It's just a whole new area that I never knew about in Dark Souls that I'm finally getting into, and it's been really enjoyable for me. Has brought in a lot of new people to the channel, and I'm very excited to continue to do that and hopefully branch out to do more things. You know, I've probably done more playthroughs of other games and uploaded videos on other games this year than I have any of the other years. And, you know, the feedback has been, you know, kind of like a mixture, but it's been also probably one of the funnest years that I've ever done YouTube for sure. And I guess this next question also has something to do with like the last two. How do you feel about the loss of popularity in Dark Souls, and what does it mean for your channel? Now, I feel like I don't really have to say this, but Dark Souls has never really been a giant series, especially on YouTube. You know, it isn't a Fortnite or a Call of Duty. But what I will say about the Dark Souls community is that it has some of the most loyal and active fans. 100%. You could take a lot of different people's channels. For example, you know, GOTY still makes his lore videos. Look at how many goddamn views those get. There's always a big interest in lore. There's always a big interest in, you know, multiplayer. There's a big interest in mods and PvE and speedruns. And those people are always going to enjoy those games and those videos because they're there's not a ton of people that upload them. Even though there has been a giant decrease, especially in the player base of Dark Souls 3 since release, it's only natural. This game that's been out for a very long time without even really getting many updates or improvements, it's obvious that the player base will fall significantly. But there's always going to be people to watch, there's always going to be people to invade, to PvP, to do co-op with, I think. Hell, there's still people doing that on Dark Souls 1. And that game is almost a decade old. But yeah, there will always be people. And in terms of what it means for my channel, it could be good, it could be bad. You know, it could push me to upload other games. You know, I could continue to upload Dark Souls, which, I mean, at least for the future, I don't see myself stopping uploading Dark Souls, especially after discovering mods and stuff like that that are so much damn fun. And I've had a bigger boost in, you know, viewers and subscribers this month of December than I have had pretty much any month this whole year. Maybe like last 2 years. So there's always new people discovering these games, you know, and watching them. So I'm not really too worried, honestly. Dragon Ball, Naruto, or One Piece? Now, first of all, I don't know what any of those are. But if I had to say any of those, listen, I grew up watching Dragon Ball, okay? I did. I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z. I've been watching Dragon Ball Z since I was in elementary school. When I was in elementary school, I had binders with printed out pictures of Goku and Gohan in them. I had a Goku backpack. Naruto has some of the best fights. Very fun characters. I'd probably say it has like the best animated moments out of all these three. But after discovering One Piece earlier last year, I think that takes the cake as my favorite out of the big three. I think it has, you know, the funnest characters. I think it has the best world in any anime or manga that I've ever read. At least my personal favorite. And even though it's been going on for decades, I feel that there's still so much that can be done with the anime, especially. The anime has been going on for 20 damn years, and I feel like they're halfway through or just getting started, you know? And especially like this new arc of One Piece, it's insane. The animation's fantastic. So I would go with One Piece, but also I don't know what any of those three shits are, you goddamn weebs. Stop asking me about these things. Do you think that Bloodborne 2 will ever happen? Yes. I do think that Bloodborne 2 will come out for the PlayStation 5. I don't know if it's going to be like a day one title, you know, the same way Bloodborne was for the PS4, but I do think that we will get it eventually. I think it's just too big and too popular of a series, critically and, you know, commercially, for Sony not to have From Software make another one. And I feel like in that world, the whole world of the cosmic horror, I feel like so much can still be done with it. So yeah, I definitely do think that for the PS5 we will get Bloodborne 2. I don't know if it's going to be 2020, 2021. I'd probably say around 2022 area. I'm so confident about this, I'd say that Bloodborne 2 would come out before Dark Souls 4 ever came out. But that's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys think, but I definitely think that it will happen for this upcoming generation of consoles. But that is all the questions for now. I hope you guys enjoyed them. I don't know how many people made it this far, but if you did, I really appreciate it. And feel free to leave your own questions down below in the comments for next time that I get around to doing it. And it won't be like, you know, 4 months this time. But that is it. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace, everybody.